with me in the studio today, from my right hand is Elizabeth, and from my left, this is Yetunde program.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, it's nice seeing you guys. I've missed you all. It's nice seeing you. Today we're going to be talking about something really interesting. Really, really interesting. Okay, I came across this story on Instagram some days ago about a lady who married without the consent or permission of her family. She actually married for love, but and took the man home, but her parents did not consent, neither did her family consent to this particular marriage. But then again, there's court marriage, right? People go to the courts without their parents, without their brothers or siblings or family, and they join them. You can actually hire family. Am I correct?
Yes, you can.
You can do that. So that was what she did, and at the end of the day, the marriage did not go well. There was lots of trouble and all that, and blah blah blah. She had to run back to her family. Ask Mr. Sheena a question: can you actually marry a lady because you love her without your family's consent?
Well, as a married man, my dad once told me a story.
Okay.
He said I should not marry from a particular tribe, and he gave me his reasons. Okay. Now, parents are our checkmate most times. They have experiences. We're just naive most times. We want to get married and we just want to rush into it, but they have the experience. So for me, if I happen to fall into that lady's hand, I won't marry for that reason. Because now they've seen ahead of us. They know things more than us. So I won't want to disobey my dad on that ground. But there are other grounds that I may not want to accept.
Okay.
For that particular reason, I will obey him. But from other reasons, I won't obey. But that particular reason, I'm like, I'll obey. Yeah.
Okay, so your parents says no, and it's no for
And it's
you,
no for
and
me,
you love
yes.
this lady. Elizabeth, what do you think about this?
Well, for me,
Love is not
I
how you
don't
marry, really.
think I would marry, even if my parents don't consent.
Okay.
I would go ahead and marry whom I love,
You
because
love.
at the end of the day, I'm spending my life with the person, not my parents. They are not. They are like the third party. Even though yes, I want their blessings, but I believe
They'll come around.
Yes, they'll come around at the end of the day. I'll go ahead and get married to someone that I love.
Okay. Let's hear from Yetunde what she thinks about this, because she's actually married.
What's a diverse opinion I'm hearing here? Yes, a lot of people say that they will marry for love, This love we are talking about does not endure for too long. There are other basics. Now, there are two things. You are against, you are for.
Yes.
If your parents say no, it's a no. If your parents say no, you will go ahead. Now, the first question you should ask yourself is, what is the reason for their saying no?
Okay.
Sometimes our parents are selfish. They've had bitter experience with somebody. For example, when I wanted to get married, my mother counted like 6 states that I cannot marry from. How many is remaining? So, but when it was time for me to get married,
Okay.
my mother, the actual one she doesn't like was what I brought. And she was like, why would you want to marry this guy? There are people who are bad. Okay, mom, how many of them have been bad? This particular person, another person. That one is enough to judge the whole community. That's a selfish reason.
Okay.
Some parents will, because they can tell you that this boy is not rich. They don't look at the potentials. They don't look at the future. They tell you he's a non-entity. Probably your own background is a little light, better. Or you as a girl, you have a better job. Your parents will tell you no. And they want their son to marry a girl with a good job.
Exactly.
These are selfish reasons. But, however, sometimes there are reasons that are genuine.
Okay.
For example, your parents can tell you that in that family, they have history of mad people. History of mad people in that family indicates that it is genetic.
Yes. Okay.
And there is the probability, in fact, it is not a probability. There is 100% chance or 90% chance that you are going to have one of them. Let me give you an example. Some time ago, I had a friend. She's as dark as I am. She's still alive. Her husband as dark as I am. And they had 4 albinos.
Oh wow.
When they had the fourth one, the husband was very angry. You have been
to
cheating
cheat.
on me. He started making all sorts of noise. The lady did not talk. And when his mother came, his mother said, a generation in your father's lineage was an albino.
Oh.
So, and if you see the children with the albinism, they look like him exactly. So a lot of times, of course, if any parent had seen that albino earlier, they would tell him, this family has albino. Can you cope? Because they can come for, I'm not saying albino is wrong, but with the reaction of that man at that time, is an indication that he didn't even trust the wife. So there are various reasons that our parents come together. Some families, they are from the first generation that you have known, they have always been divorced. Your parents will tell you, in this family, there's history of divorce.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may need to pay with your life to end that generational problem,
Pattern.
to end that pattern. So most times, look at the reason. Why is my mom's? Oftentimes, adults see beyond us, much further. But check the reason. Is it selfish reasons? If it's selfish reasons, you can you can talk to them like I talked to my mother. Oh, mom, they are not all like this.
In a case that
Yes.
Because like where I come from, before, in Igbo land generally, before you get married, you know, your parents go to ask questions about the particular family you are going to get married into.
What is prevalent in that family?
If they are diabetic, for instance, if they are divorced, like she said, if they have tendencies to leave their husband's family, or they have a particular kind of sickness or it could just be anything.
These are the things we are battling with
that
today.
Okay.
But the truth is, see,
Okay.
these days, people don't want to wait anymore.
Yes,
Well,
but
yeah,
check.
I've seen love.
But check.
I want to marry. See,
Yeah.
I tell people that love is blind, you say.
You
Marriage
marry
is
will open your eyes clearly.
Marriage
You
is
will
your
see
eyes.
crystal clear.
I like that.
Crystal clear. You see crystal clear.
I'm blind in love. I'm blind in love.
And this love will fade somewhere
Over
in
time,
marriage.
yes.
It is the relationship you have built over time that you
that
will
will
use
keep
to
the
support.
partner-
And
Yeah,
then at
that's-
old age, the love comes back.
Yeah.
When it is just the
Just
two of
the
you
two of
go,
you.
when there are no children. But in the middle, the longer part of your lives together,
that's true.
love fades.
There's a
Face.
book I read titled "Love Is Not Enough
It's
in
not.
Marriage."
It's not.
Okay,
I
I'm
agree.
going
Of
to be
course,
giving
yeah.
this instance a real life story. So I want to hear your opinion concerning the story. While I was growing up in secondary school, then I used to attend the church, and one of our pastors then was supposed to get married. Is from Edo State, so he met this lady. She's from the Igbo land, one of the Igbo speaking part of Nigeria. So he took this lady to the family. You know Edo now,
Yeah.
Isham precisely. So they took the lady home. The mother was like, no, the guy, since he's the first son, he has to marry from Isham. That there was
It's a
no real
cultural
reason.
thing.
There was no
Culture.
real reason. Not that the girl's family is bad. She doesn't know. She just saw the girl that she's not Isham. If the girl was Isham,
Should have
okay
accepted
for
it.
the
her.
marriage would have gone.
No
well.
matter the life
Mhm.
pattern in
Should
their
have
home.
accepted.
No.
Wow.
Now, because she's from Igbo, that's the problem. Now, the father of the guy did not really have a problem
Would it-
with it.
Fathers don't
he did
usually
not really have
have
a
problems.
They will
problem
push
with
you
it.
into
But
crisis.
the mother
Mothers,
tried to
most
make
times.
the man see reasons why this marriage
Mothers
should
don't.
not work. They went for the wedding, they got married. After some months, the lady got pregnant. During the phase of the pregnancy, let me say close to 9 months, the guy died.
Hey!
The guy just died.
Wow.
He wasn't sick, he just didn't wake up.
Disaster.
They went to bury him. What went as a church now? We went to bury this man. A young guy, a young promising man.
Wow.
On getting there, they laid him in the coffin, put him in the grave. The mother just came. She was not even crying. She was just like,
Like, I told
she
you.
spat inside the grave. Say, Shebi, I tell you, you don't die, Abi. You don't die, Abi. You go hear me next time. That was it.
You know,
And now the girl now, she's now an outcast. She's a widow
Yeah,
and an outcast
yeah.
because
the family,
The
the
Yes.
family
Yes.
the family does not recognize this girl anymore. The family does not recognize her.
And there is
So if, in this
And if
case,
she
I don't
remains
know.
there, the mother will make her life a
Hell.
living hell.
Yes,
Like,
because
you killed my son.
Yeah.
If
and
he hadn't
for the
married-
obvious reason, it's not the
Yeah.
lady that actually killed the
there's
son.
no obvious reason, Ejiro. There's no obvious reason. That woman saw something. You know, a lot of times we do away with culture.
Parents.
Culture is very. Let me.
So that's enough reason for the guy not to marry the lady.
Yes, it is enough.
yes,
let me
yes.
tell you. Let me tell
It
you
is.
why I said so. Now let me explain.
Yes.
Let me explain something.
Because
You know
she's
that
not
the,
from Edo State.
no. Let me explain something. The woman said
serious.
the culture is that the first son marries from Ishan, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it? Go back and make a research. Something has been happening to those that didn't marry.
Yeah, triggered.
And
No,
that is
that's
why she
suddenly-
That's
refused
something.
to show up at the wedding, knowing that she was losing her son outrightly.
But the father, the father did not.
Men
really
will
have
push
a
you till
problem.
you
Men
die.
won't say anything now. Men will not talk.
Most men will push you till you
but
die.
the father should say no.
No, a lot of times our fathers, my father told me when I was young, bring Oyibo, I'm okay. Bring this one, I'm okay. Because
No,
it
but
is-
ma'am,
is
if this is
a cultural
a culture
The
that
man-
you don't get married as a first son, you're not
Yes.
supposed to get married to someone who is not from
Yes.
that's a particular place, then I think the father should
Now,
have said
But though
something.
there was actually speculation that the mother's hand was involved in the
I-
guy's.
That's my
our
thoughts,
mother's
exactly.
hand, the,
We're
no,
not-
That's
no
my
mother
thought. No.
will kill her
No,
own
ma'am.
child, even
I
a
mean,
witch.
sure.
They do.
Your
Let me
first
tell
son-
you.
No,
Let me tell you. No, look, these things happen. It's true. It happens. There are some that kill all their
Yeah.
children. But I want to tell you.
You see, there are some that kill.
Yes, some kill all their. How can you go through
one, I feel
9
she
months?
has a hand in
How
it.
can
Has
you?
a
No,
hand,
she
right?
she
I'm
said
not
that.
sure, I'm
She
not
told
sure.
the son. She
I'm
told
not
the
sure.
son. She had already cried behind.
Yeah.
She had wept, knowing that this is the consequence.
But she
I've lost
felt
him already.
unconcerned.
Now let me tell you, when
She
you are
lost him
prepared for
already.
a consequence, you are ready to take it
She
when
lost
it
him
comes. That was
But
the
then
case.
again,
This- the-
what's the use or what's the use of the church then?
No,
If all
no,
these
no, no,
things-
no, 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 don't bring the church.
Church and culture.
Don't
is
bring the
different.
church.
That's going to
No,
be.
we had-
Culture is not being church now.
Thank you. We
Church and
had.
I
culture
want
is
to
different. You
understand
cannot-
because if I'm made to understand that everything is possible by God, yeah, then I feel
You don't
that
try him.
Even God too.
You don't try him. God does what he wants
I'm
to
not
do.
saying we're trying him, but I feel that
Now,
in
He's
some
supposed to
cases,
intervene.
Now
we
let
can
me tell
pray
you.
ourselves out
Before-
of some of these
After
situations.
Now-
you've been told about it.
Thank you.
You've been-
Before
It's-
culture.
Is this where prevention is better than
Yeah,
cure?
it's-
Now let's
Yeah.
understand. Before culture, before religion, there was culture.
Culture.
Cost- yeah.
Before religion at all, why do we still suffer genetic diseases?
Of course.
Why is it
Yeah.
that a woman still labors to give birth as a Christian? Why are Christians dying in the course of giving birth? Haven't they prayed enough? Certainly not. The issue is there was a cultural thing.
Okay.
Once you are 40 years, that prayed to that extent. When she was 35, great grandfathers had given up a young girl who was pregnant. He used that for ritual. And on the day that girl was to die, she laid a age. So if you don't confess, if you know you will not marry Isha,
He didn't actually bring himself first now. He didn't.
so,
He's not.
no, that's
he's not
the more
in-
reason why you must want to go ahead.
Yeah.
If he tells you go ahead, in our place,
Then you are
we
sure
call
he's
him a
backing.
name.
Yeah.
We call him Oromonishe Fayati. That means
You are
someone
sure
who
he's
sends
backing.
you
Yeah.
and stands with
We'll
you.
back- Yeah, we back her up.
So if he says, if you are convinced
in your spirit.
that, okay, this is the man for me, you can go ahead. Do you know that even these names I will go to pray to, you will carry 10 names. Any pastors can see, they can see your destinies alike. They can never see beyond the destiny. The two of you can have the destiny of being together, being rich, you can make money together, but you are not meant to be together. Some of, if he doesn't marry you, his life can be. Of culture remains like it is a big deal. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
You don't you don't just say let's just allow you
marry
jare.
now.
Marry,
Pleasure. You have to-
marry.
you must still-
Then you will see where you know what meme is. You will see it in that marriage.
And it's forever. And it's forever.
For yes, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
break up. That
It's
is
not
why
like 10
some of
years,
them.
I'm out.
I told you a story, Ejiro, some time ago, where a woman married into a family. In that family, none of the boys are with their wives.
It's a pattern.
All
It's a
the
pattern.
all the men in that family have broken homes. And this
Yes.
woman had 2 boys. I met her in a salon. And I asked her, the man beat hell out of her. Madam, why are you staying in a domestic marriage? I don't like that domestic violence. And I was pushed to ask her. And she told me that there's a pattern in the husband's family. And she wants to break it, even if it will cost her life. Because she has boys.
As you can break it.
Now look, she might die
But-
in the course of it.
You might die in the
But
process.
she's
But
laying
break
down
it.
her life. Okay, are you going to lay down your life because of pattern? These are questions.
Okay, she wants it to stop.
On,
can
because
break
of her
She can
children.
break it. Yeah. She can
So
break
she's
it.
now laying down her
life
own
for-
life.
So
The man
we'll
beat
say
her blue
mostly
black
she's sacrificing for her
for
children.
the
She
children.
can break it, yeah.
So because probably she walked into it
So
unknowingly.
Yeah,
So
true.
okay, in this case now, she does that, and peradventure she dies. Would that stop the children from having broken home?
It
Okay,
will.
okay, let
It
me
will.
say-
Stop
It
the-
will
stop the
because
rape,
she
because
she
it-
has paid
a
the
life
price
has been-
deliberately.
A life has been
Oh,
paid for
really?
It was
So
a
that
deliberate
works.
thing.
It
She
was.
did.
She
She
wants
laid
to
it.
stop
She
it.
deliberately, because normally she should walk out of the marriage like
Yes,
others.
yes.
But she deliberately decided that
See,
even if it will
she
cost
doesn't
me my
want her
blood,
boys to
I don't want.
continue-
Those children will see what happened. They will grow with it,
True.
and they will be careful.
So many things.
I
A
see.
lot.
Some
I see.
families, you see that the ladies they never get married. They just give birth to
Yes,
children
yes.
at home.
It's
They can
happens.
give birth to as many as 10.
And
if
they'll be
they
living
want,
with
they
their
choose
parents.
to, but they will still
Different
be
men.
With, yes,
Okay,
they will live
okay.
with their parents.
It's
If
a
they don't get
pattern.
married.
I see. Okay. Back to Elizabeth. At first, you disagreed with Sheila.
Yeah.
But now she's coming
Yeah.
around. No?
Yeah.
I feel
You
you
know,
disagree.
she's coming
Now,
around.
my question
Mama-
now is: do you now agree with them, or you're still on your own path?
Well, she gave a very important reason
Like I said
why
earlier,
I should
parents.
reconsider, which
Okay.
is she said, when your parents say no, ask why.
Of course,
Know
there's a
why.
reason
For
why.
aversion, there's
Why?
no reason.
If it's for selfish
There's a reason
reasons,
Yeah,
why
you will
they-
know if it's for
if
selfish
it's for
reasons.
selfish
You can
reasons,
convince them
you can
easily.
convince them and
You
go
know,
ahead. But
if
if
they
it's something
insist
that has
and put
to
their
do
feet
with
down,
with,
please.
with a
Culture.
lineage, something
Okay.
that is deadly, like okay, in these, like when my uncle got married, the family he got married from, at a certain age, they die of cancer, but he didn't know until it happened to his wife. So they started tracing
Digging
it,
deep.
digging deep, and then they realized that in that family, they die of cancer.
of cancer.
So these are things. So I actually agree with her.
Oh, okay.
If it has to do with culture or the family line, it's something that is really bad.
Pattern.
In a
Parents
situation,
are right, you know.
no, parents
Parents
are not
are
always
not
right.
always
Not
right.
always
They are
right.
not always.
But I want
true.
to tell you, 90% of the time, parents
They're
are right.
right. This-
Okay.
this-
You know your
this
parents.
experience, talking about
I
it.
know. I have a friend whose mother is very selfish. That one, the mother cannot tell her not to marry somebody, and she will agree because the woman has been selfish from
day
their
one.
growing.
From their
But a
growing.
woman who is
Again.
sacrificial, you already know that
Well, you know,
this my
sometimes,
mother will take
like,
anything.
If a lady comes to a certain age, especially the mothers, they'll be like, get
Anything
married.
goes.
Anybody just get married. Like, no.
I took my time.
It happens. It
It
happens
makes
to
them desperate.
Yeah, you become.
Yeah.
They'll
Desperate.
push
No,
you
it's-
into desperation.
All these things you are saying is because of the society. Everyone comes. So that we coming to eat Elizabeth's rice now.
Well, I
This
don't-
thing gets into the woman, and then she wants to push you out.
No, my mom knows she cannot push me.
No,
But
it's-
it happened to my. She did it with my elder sister.
You don't blame the
Like,
woman.
When, but me, I have a mind of my own. Mom,
That's-
just
Yeah,
chill.
let me chill. Let
But
me
you
take my
do you
When
know
it's
that
time,
do you know that
you-
she
it
has
will
her
happen.
silent cries?
Sure,
over it.
definitely. Like
At
every
times
time
she
I
will
speak
weep
with her on the
alone.
phone, she's like,
She will like, Elizabeth,
Alpha,
where now?
what's going
You
on?
know, you
They
don't
always
blame her.
say,
Elizabeth,
you know,
where
they
now?
always come in a way that I went to
Parents,
Ada's
parents.
marriage.
Parents,
That
parents,
small
really.
girl that day, she has gotten married. That sister said just had a child.
Parents,
for her.
parents.
Stuff
Those are
like
best,
that.
though.
Yeah, no, my
Parents, most
mom
are best,
especially, I
really.
know, but my dad
Those
doesn't
are best.
really. But my mom.
That's why I said
God,
Men don't really
she's
care, don't-
always-
Fathers will push you
She's
until
always
you
like
die.
she prays every day for
Yes.
myself and my younger siblings.
That's
you know.
that's it.
It's just
So that the
she's
more
like
in that
I
case, you know,
understand.
the woman is giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
That
You
if
know
she's
that.
not from that community, she will die. Some it is if the woman goes into adultery, in the course of giving birth, she will die. If you know you like this thing, don't go into that kind of marriage. Check the pattern. You know that you can't stay in one place. You must walk around.
Promiscuous.
Don't go to where, because I know that there are communities like that.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen, and they told her confess before you give birth. The lady could not say. She confessed at the dying minute. She eventually died, but the baby is alive, and that child, they named him one funny name like that, so that anybody that hears the name knows that the
Will know
mother
that the
committed an offense.
Okay.
So the dance continues until there's somebody who's ready
To
to
break it.
pay the price.
Okay, that boils me down to a particular question that I want to ask. In a situation whereby you go to a man's family, they don't accept you, but then after much talking with the family or the mother or the parents, and they said that, okay, for you to marry our daughter or our son, you have to swear. Then they give you, maybe they give you something, like they take you to a particular place to swear.
Not by force.
So would you still go on with that marriage?
It's a no for me.
Would you go on with that marriage?
No, no for me.
No,
I
now.
won't- I
So
won't-
what if at the end of the day you don't end up swearing, but they say, okay, since you did not swear,
Yeah.
but you now know that they are fetish and all that.
Why would you ask me to swear because I want to get married to your son?
It
Now,
happens.
there are
There are situations like that.
there are
And that's
various
why I said it's no.
there are
So
various
I-
reasons
I'll
to
walk
it.
away.
You said it's a no.
Yeah, for
He
me,
said
it's
it's a
no.
no.
Yeah.
I won't
Now
do
let
that.
me give you why sometimes you have to reconsider. You know, I told you that there are some marriages that you were instructed. You know how you hear from God, and God says this is the man,
Mm.
and the family says no, you can't marry her.
Yes, you have to swear.
It's
you
not
have
a
to do
no.
that.
You go back to that God that directed you to him.
Okay.
Say, God, you told me this is the woman. Because there are there are men and women that will fulfill your destiny with you. Sometimes a lot of troubles crop up in the course of the journey. And so if this family says, no, you must drink this water, go back to the one that directed you now. He will go and talk to them. And until that is done, you cannot be married.
Oh, really? So you think you can actually pray it out?
No, not
Not
praying
praying
it out.
it out.
You have been instructed. There are two things. There's a difference between I saw you, I like you, Ejiro, I want to marry you. I will go to your family, say you must drink water.
Mm-hmm.
That type, please run.
Exactly.
Okay.
But
so
a
you-
situation where God told you particularly, this is the person.
Specifically.
Do you know there are some people like that? They receive specific instructions.
Okay, I'm actually not the kind of person that believes in God tells you this is your husband,
Okay.
because I don't believe in that. I believe that God said, if you find a wife, find a good thing. So He allows you to make your choice. He doesn't hand over a wife to you.
No.
So let's not go
Are you,
into that
you are
part.
mi-
that-
you are
Okay,
mixing
they are
it.
different-
You are
they are
mixing it.
different-
What I
they are-
mean
Okay.
is,
There
for
are different
example,
pieces from-
you maybe you are being a called pastor. When you are called, God directs your movement.
Mhm.
If somebody that is a pastor now comes to marry you, Ejiro, how does he cope? You are a socialite.
Okay.
You are a socialite.
Yes.
He wants to pray 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
There are 7 days he wants to go on fasting, and you need him.
You today,
How will he cope?
There's not like praying 24/7.
No, I mean no. Sometimes no. What I mean is, I just said
Sometimes
no. There
the
are some issues. So
Let me look at
there are
some-
issues you have to face.
Sisters are boring.
No, they are not boring. No,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
24
saying is,
hours
okay,
prayer.
for example,
Yes.
he wants to go for administration. Yes,
To separate from
thank
their
you.
wife.
He wants to go for
I
administration.
feel
It
after
doesn't
fasting
affect
you
it,
can,
oh.
you can
No,
do
but
that.
Now listen.
It
It
doesn't
does.
affect it.
Listen,
It
no, it
does.
does.
Not that
He's
it-
going for administration.
doesn't affect
Wait,
him,
he's going. He's
It
going.
doesn't
Let me
affect
explain.
it.
to
Should we go
you.
this way?
this is getting
He's going for
It doesn't affect
administration.
it, really.
Let me explain. He's
Okay.
going for
Okay, me too.
administration
I will-
on the
I will-
mountain.
Okay.
And God says, I want you secluded for the next 7 days. I want to meet with you alone. It happens. The two of them. All he does is he will tell the wife, my dear, this is what God said. And trust, if it is the right woman, she accepts.
Exactly.
But if it's a socialite, if not socialite,
Sometimes,
so it doesn't affect you
In
sometimes.
any stage of their ministry,
Yes.
sometimes he just checks
You
into
need-
a
God
hotel
will tell you
and
that I
he
want to
goes
meet
away
with
for
you.
himself for,
That's
by
it.
himself for 7 days.
That's it.
The wife understands.
That
She
is
waits.
it. Because
Do you
there has been
understand?
direction. Those type of people, they must be directed
Because
to the right woman.
In his own,
If not, they will miss it.
He got a specific instruction.
That is it.
This is your wife.
That is it. These are issues.
So now what
So
happens?
if you if you understudy
if I'm
them,
getting
you
that's it.
will see that
They will follow each other closely.
They
It's
go
not as if there will
together.
be no issues. Oh.
Okay, so
Yeah,
if,
because I
so
felt
if
For
I
a
get
man,
the
a man now
situation
picks a
clearly-
socialite.
no, it will
You know if he pray now. You know if he pray now. Sometimes he wants to pray. You want to put on a lingering, and you come in with the whole thing, and the guy looks, wow, this prayer may have to be
Can
suspended. You know, and he has a ministry.
But it's not
And it has
iron
to
now.
be
But it's not iron most times.
What I'm saying is
okay.
iron, but there are times when
Yes.
the man will definitely
It's
need to
it's
be on
even
his
the
own.
woman. Sometimes there are issues in the home that the woman wants to just be alone. And she will
focus
tell
and
you as
pray.
a man, if the two of you are not
It won't
compatible,
be
Yeah, it will be
yes.
you can't
It
get
will be
it.
definitely be a problem.
That's
If
what
they
I'm
are
saying.
compatible,
That's
it
all.
won't be a
In fact,
problem.
immediately you
Understand the
say it,
context.
she
Yeah.
picks it up.
Yeah,
She will be somewhere praying for you too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in a situation where she will tell you that you are going again, Shebi, you just came back from some 2 weeks ago. Which
Yeah,
kind
but
of God call
Sometimes
yourself?
the pastor
The-
says this thing, things
it
like
brings
this.
it. So I think these are things that we have to be. That's why I said some people, God will direct you to them.
He will give you specific,
Especially in
This
ministry.
This is a.
yeah,
Especially in
if you're
ministry.
going into ministry.
Yeah, or
too.
especially if your background is so bad that you need to change. he gives you somebody that can fight the battle with you.
Okay, let me get you
Because
correctly.
you know there's perfect way.
There's
Yeah,
yes,
I know
there's
that.
the permissive
But then
will.
again-
Yes,
Permissive
permissive will.
If I'm getting you correctly, you say if God tells you that this is your wife, and you go there, they tell you that no, before you marry our daughter, you have to swear, or drink this or drink that and all that. Then in that situation, because you've not given us a definite answer, if you're
No,
going
that's
to
what
do
I
so.
said. I said you go back to
the
the
one
same
who
God
said-
So the
that
same
told
God, and
you.
you tell God that
God, he will
this
go
is
and
the
visit
situation.
them.
He will
Yeah.
go and
He
Yes,
make
if he's the
everything-
one, or if he's, I'm not saying the one that just slept
He
and saw
make
the
the
woman drawing
ways.
water.
What if it doesn't happen in that way?
No, it will
Like you're
definitely
saying.
happen in that way.
That means it's not the one that directed you to
If
the
God,
woman.
if God is the one that gave you specific instruction,
You
Be-
back-
be-
will make
because
it-
because
you will
I
make
would
it
like
well.
to be more realistic than being religious.
No, we are being realistic. I
we
just
have to
told you
be
that in some
realistic.
cases, there are some very, in fact, some from little child, God would have revealed it to that girl, to that child. This is the person you are going to marry. She knows it. She can derail, befriend so many people,
But she'll come
and
back
still
definitely.
come back to
She'll
that
come back
person.
definitely.
So it's look, God deals with us differently. Differently. Some people, they don't have to see it, but the moment they meet with the person, they connect.
Just know.
Okay, that's
So there are so many ways of God talking
True,
to you.
yeah, Mama,
so,
you have a
if,
point.
so if you now say that,
Have
if,
you? Are
You can just meet somebody.
you, yes, and you connect,
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
connect.
everything
now we're,
you-
we're
somehow.
going to rephrase the first question. You know, I said earlier, I asked if you can marry a man without your family consent. Let's say,
Yes.
for example, now you want to marry this particular man, the man takes you home, but the man's family does not consent.
Yes.
Your own family consents, and the man is ready to leave his family
No, don't
for
encourage.
you.